Today's podcast is going to be a little bit on the shorter side because your girl is not feeling like I'm not feeling like really talking or making a podcast, but I also have a commitment to myself to show up. And so I'm going to show up the best way I can. And so today's podcast episode is going to be a little bit more on the shorter end, but I will try to make it as clear and valuable as possible for you guys to take this kind of the things that I learn in my own journey and evolving, and you guys can then implement that into your own learning and evolving because that's what I want. And so this podcast is obviously about finding. My cat is like wilding right now. If you guys heard that in the background, like it's literally the end of the day, and I'm not cutting that out. So, um, finding or more so creating more joy and fulfillment in your everyday life. Right, and so maybe you don't really like your job or you don't get fulfillment out of what you do, and maybe you're not in, like, the most fulfilling relationship, like, you guys are just there. Maybe you want more fulfilling relationships or friendships or, you just want more abundance and joy and peace in your life, but it constantly feels chaotic or stressful or, bland and autopilot-y and, you don't find fulfillment, you make it. Right, like, fulfillment isn't something that you just open a door and you find. Fulfillment is something that comes from it comes from enjoyment. It comes from a feeling of like, moving with purpose, moving with presence, right? You can create fulfillment in the little you can create joy and fulfillment in the everyday little things in life by romanticizing your life, how it is now, before you have the marble all white kitchen or before you feel like you need certain things in order to romanticize your life or feel fulfilled and feel that. Do that with your space. I promise you, like, you through organization and cleanliness and being neat and building systems in your household and adding flowers or plants and candles and slowing down and lights, and that shit can really romanticize your area. And there's really cheap ways to do it too if you're trying to save money. And so it's about romanticizing your life, but when we think about romanticizing your life, what we really mean is finding beauty in the little things, finding beauty and joy and fulfillment in the seemingly mundane, right? The seemingly mundane, where, everyday things we kind of like get used to and we're grateful, but we get used to it. It's like, how can we bring that gratitude back and slow down more often? I find personally for me that it's in the moments of slowness, when I'm not on my phone, when I'm just sitting outside and soaking in the sunshine or going on a walk or making a coffee, that time for myself where I can just be still. And I do this because I try to wake up early because that's really when I can do that. I really can't do that any later in the day. Or so I can, but I just don't want to. And so that hour of slow time in the morning for me is huge because it's then when I can actively make the decision to slow down and be present and bring my attention to my senses, because that's what really can help you be present, right? There is no the future isn't here yet and the past is already gone. All we have is now. And we are attracting from our point of now, right? Like, we are already creating our future based on our current habits, belief systems, how we perceive the world, right? So you create fulfillment by practicing gratitude, because when we take the time to celebrate our wins and just like soak in, wow, I'm so grateful like for this and for that, and just really like being in that, then you can feel in your body that gratitude. Life goes by so fast, guys. Like, time flies. Like, we're already almost 6 months into the year. I don't know if that's right, but we're like in the year. We're deep in there. Like, what are y'all being for Halloween? No, I'm kidding. But like, time flies, and it's so important. It can be so easy to be like, you know, looking forward to the next thing and the next thing, and the next thing, and living for certain things. But it's like, we only have one life. So how can we really soak in every moment? It's not until we lose something or something happens that we actually can then activate those higher parts of gratitude. If you've dealt with loss, and if you dealt with a recent loss, I want to send you my condolences. But and you suffered loss, you really, really appreciate the people around you more. You really appreciate the little things in life. You're not as serious about life. Right. And so these things, although they're so sad, they're coming to teach us these things. That's what I always talk about. Like, contrasting experiences are actually, they birth the desire for something. So like a lot of times death and all of that actually is rebirth too. So, how to actually practice more presence so you can create more joy, peace, and fulfillment in your life is one of my favorite things. I love in the moment strategies. So, in the moment strategies are like things you can do in the moment, right? For grounding or to bring yourself back. And so let's say you get triggered. Let's say something happens, and it's okay to get triggered. We all react, but then we want to then ground ourselves, right? Or shift our thoughts or shift into something positive, and or at least empowering, or neutralize it. So, you know, something that helps me kind of tap back into the present moment and ground is bringing my attention to my senses. So, what can I hear? What do I see? The colors. What can I feel right now? Am I sitting on a chair? Or does my butt feel against this chair? And it really grounds your nervous system in those times where you kind of feel more scattered or kind of just way in the future or way in the past. Breath work is also really powerful. So taking deep breaths. The box method is my favorite. It's basically you inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, release for 4 seconds, and then wait 4 seconds. And it's really, really great way to, it's called box breathing. And it's a really great way to kind of just reset your nervous system. You repeat that 4 times. LOL, the synchronicities too. But repeat that 4 times, and you can really ground your nervous system and bring yourself back out of fight or flight or freeze mode and into more of a rest and digest place of calm. Because how can you find the fulfillment in life or romanticize the little things in life if you're in fight or flight all the time, right? So we got to learn how to bring ourselves back. But really, guys, also, gratitude and all of that is nice, but when you take aligned action in your life and you do the inner work to shift limiting beliefs, that's when you really can create fulfillment and joy and peace in your life. Okay? Like, there's spectrums to the level of it, and I think a lot of times as humans we can reach for what just feels the most comfortable and what we feel comfortable in. Um and that's totally fine, like, to each their own. I think when you naturally have that desire for deeper, you can't ignore it. And when you're comfortable, that's fine. But when we are just feeling like, oh, I want more fulfillment in my life, we have to define, what does that mean? When we say we want fulfillment or we want more joy, peace, what does that mean to us? Right? Like, what do we think that means for us? Do we think that means, you know, a certain type of apartment or more money or more travel or more enjoyment in your job, more work-life balance, like better health and fitness and wellness, more confidence? What does that actually mean to you? And really think about, why is that important to you? Really, because a lot of the times we want these things and they sound good in our head, but when it actually comes down to taking action and doing the work that it takes, um, we can kind of put that off or procrastinate or act like we don't need to do it and kind of go on willfully blind in our everyday life, still going through the same patterns of not feeling fulfilled or feeling stuck or feeling like we want more for ourselves. And that's okay. But what actions are you going to take? What beliefs do you have to overcome? What do you need to shift and release so that way you can actually go out there and create fulfillment in your life? Whether that's, investing in a mentor who can help you start your own business and that's what you really feel called to do. And you don't know like how to follow the right steps. And you want to take that leap on yourself so that way you can make your own income doing what you love. Maybe it's traveling, maybe it's, starting a family, like whatever it is for you. Maybe it's working towards, your dream body, but also healing your relationship with food and getting stronger and learning how to nourish and fuel your body all at the same time, right? Wherever you feel called to have more of that purpose and fulfillment, you have to take action on it too, right? It's nothing without action. So write down, like, what do you feel like are your main limiting beliefs? Like, what holds you back? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it just the belief that's not, I can't do that. Like, I have this, I'm already a mom, like whatever. Like, what are the barriers that you tell yourself? Write those all down. And what's cool is that all we have to do is rewrite the story. All we have to do is work through those limiting beliefs, rewrite that story. And once we do that and we reprogram your subconscious mind, then the idea that you can actually have these things in your life and you can be this person doesn't sound like a far off thing. It just becomes who you are. So we do this through embodiment work at Embody Her. That's why we literally rebranded from Flexi Fitness to Embody Her Fitness and Health, because a big part of becoming that version of ourselves that has the healthy, strong, sexy toned body we want, the confidence and the, healed relationship with food and the finances and relationships that she wants and desires and knows will improve her overall quality of life, we have to also let go of what is no longer serving us. And we have to also be willing to step into that and do what it takes to shift and take action from an aligned place of, this is who I am. And that is where the work starts. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the podcast here, guys. I just wanted to chat a little bit more about that, but we really create joy and fulfillment in our everyday life when we can learn to be present, when we can learn to look at all the beauty that's already around us and the joy and the happiness and the confidence that you believe is on the other side. How can you learn to feel that now as if it's already your reality? Excuse me. Right? Like, maybe you hate your you hate your job and you would rather do XYZ and you would be so fulfilled. How can you create that fulfilled feeling right now? How can you tap into that joy and that peace right now before that thing is actually in your reality and actually a thing? Let me know if that makes sense. I would love to hear your feedback, guys. And again, it supports me so much when you guys share and tag me on your stories, share with a friend and leave reviews. It helps grow the podcast and helps me reach more like-minded women. And so I'm really grateful for every single listener who does listen. I see the listeners, and it's just super cool to see the podcast growing. And I'm just really grateful. And I'm definitely excited to continue to grow it. My podcast and my YouTube is like the main things I'm really just trying to put my extra creative. It's like my extra creative outlet. So thanks for staying tuned with me, guys. Next week, dropping another podcast. I might do a series and switch it up because I've been getting a little bored. I've been feeling like I have talked about so much great topics and I kind of want to switch it up. Maybe I'll do like a series. And you know what? What I'm actually planning is I'm actually planning a client story series. So I'm going to be having some of our clients from Embody Her, our 101 transformation program, on the podcast to actually talk about their journey so far, how they went from, binge eating and, struggling with like toxic weight loss culture and like wanting to lose fat and build muscle, but just never feeling like they can get to where they want to be and trying it all, but like never really sustaining that progress, to then getting to the place where they lose body fat, gain muscle, get closer to their dream physique, get amazing results, heal their relationship with food, work through so many mindset shifts and change their life. And I'm really excited because these are real women, guys. You're hearing the results from the horse's mouth. I think that's the saying. I don't want to compare our clients to horses, but y'all know what I mean. And so I think that'll be super fun to kind of dive deep into client stories. And, it's super cool to hear from women who are in your same position, how they got results and how they got to where they are today. And I back that obviously because we do everything with strategy, spirituality, mindset, and it's how we can kind of achieve that full mind body transformation. Strategy and all obviously those psychological shifts as well. So super excited for that. If there's anything you guys want to see or hear about, let me know. I love when you guys DM me like, hey girl, like I would love to hear a topic on this, or oh my God, can you talk about this? Because that really helps me kind of get more ideas and I get super motivated. So if there's anything you feel like you would want to hear more about or elaborate on or just hear my opinions or advice on, let me know in the DMs and I got y'all. But love you guys so much. Gonna end it out here and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.